Hi guys, you're welcome in usaeservice.com. For more management study and latest world news, visit our website usaeservice.com. Today we will discuss about attitude changing functions, behavior, barrier and beliefs. Let's start. Attitude is the most important challenge for managers to hiring new staff. In which right attitude is major factor to find in a new employee. The most important function of an attitude is who holds it and where. Attitude is often critical. There are following functions of an attitude: adjustment function, ego defensive function, value expressive function, knowledge function. Adjustment function attitudes play important role in adjusting to their work environment. When employees are treated well in an organization or firm, they are likely to develop a positive attitude towards management and the organization. When employees are criticized and given a minimum wage, they are negative towards management and the organization. These approaches help employees adjust to their environments and are a foundation for future behavior. The adjustment function leads people to pleasurable or rewarding and keep away from unpleasant and undesirable. It is based on the utilitarian concept of maximizing reward and minimizing punishment. Thus, consumers' perceptions depends on what is satisfactory and what is punishable. Ego defensive function holds attitudes that affect our self-esteem, or that justify actions that make us feel guilty. This function includes psychoanalytic theories where people find themselves with psychological harm. Use defense mechanisms to protect, denial, suppression, projection, rationalization, etc. Old and senior manager whose decisions are constantly challenged by a younger subordinate manager, may feel that the latter is cruel, arrogant, immature, and inexperienced. In the true sense, only young subordinates can be right in challenging decisions. The old manager may not be a very effective leader and can consistently make bad decisions. On the other hand, the old managers are not going to accept it, but will try to protect the ego by placing blame on the other side. Value expressive function ego defensive attitude is formed to protect a person's self-image, while value expressive function enable the expression of centrally held values of the individual. Central values establish our identity and give us social granting acceptance, gives us an idea of who we are and what we stand for. Some perspectives are important to a person, because they convey values that are integral to that person's self-concept. Therefore consumers adopt certain attitude to express their values more tangibly and easily. Our value-expressing approach is closely related to our self-concept. A person with independence central value has a very positive attitude towards the management authority, decentralization in the organization, flexible work schedules, and relaxation of dress standards. Knowledge function the knowledge function is consistent and relatively constant. It allows us to predict what is likely to happen, and gives us a sense of control. Some attitudes are useful because they help in understanding the world more. They help people to tell the cause of events and pay attention to the characteristics of people or situations that are likely to be useful in their meaning. As a result, they help to make the world more understandable, predictable, knowable. Knowing a person's point of view helps us to understand their behavior. For example, people who are not familiar with nuclear power can develop an attitude that it is dangerous and not used as an energy source. Stereotyping is another example. In the absence of knowledge, we can adopt a conservative attitude to identify the person. Barriers to change attitudes. Employees' attitudes can be changed, and trying to do so is the best interest of management. For example, if employees believe that their employer does not care for their welfare, then the management should change the attitude of employees, and help to develop a more positive attitude towards them. However, the process of changing attitude is not an easy task. But organizations should try to take action to change the attitude of its employees, to achieve its preset goals with them and take corrective action. There are following barriers to change attitudes: prior commitment, insufficient information, balance and consistency, lack of resources, improper reward system, resistance to change, Prior commitment: when people commitment to a particular action that has already been agreed upon and thus makes it difficult for them to change or accept new ways of functioning. Insufficient information: insufficient information acts as a major barrier to change attitude. Sometimes people should not change their attitude due to non-availability of right information. Balance and consistency: another barrier to the change of attitude is the attitude theory of balance and stability. This is why humans prefer their attitudes about people and things to conform to their behavior and objects towards each other. Lack of resources: if plans become overly ambitious, sometimes can be hindered by a lack of resources from a company or organization. Therefore, in this case, if the organization wants to change the attitude of employees towards the new plan, so sometimes it becomes impossible for lack of resources to achieve this. Improper reward system: inappropriate reward system acts as a barrier to change attitude. If an organization places too much emphasis on short-term performance and results, managers may ignore long-term issues as they set goals and make plans to achieve high profits in the short term. If this reward system is introduced in the organization, the employees not motivated to change their perspective. Resistance to change: resistance to change is another barrier in continuous process within and outside the organization to set goals. Employees have to change themselves when the authority changes a plan of the organization. But among them some do not like it. If their attitude about the change of plan cannot be changed, the organization will not succeed. Ways of changing attitudes: if we separate the negative attitude from the positive attitude, then the attitude can be changed. A positive attitude can bring a positive change in life. It is difficult to change the attitude, but with some effort, it can be done. A person who has a hostile viewpoint, cultural deprived environment, can often change their attitude by education. A person with acquired subculture, who is always held to a democratic attitude, may be negative towards a group due to an unfortunate experience. Well-established attitudes are resistant to change, but more responsive to change than others. The attitude can be changed in many ways. New information can be used to help change the attitude. Negative attitudes are formed mainly due to negative information. Attitudes can change through direct experience. Another way in which behavior can be changed is to resolve discrepancies between behavior and behavior. Friends or attitude can change through persuasion of peers. Through law, attitudes can change. Workplace and attitudes: how attitude can affect the workplace. The challenge in the workplace is that organization is tied to the people and individuals present in it. We can have thoughts or beliefs about managers in general. It is important here that how a person or situation feels. Obviously, not every manager is trustworthy, but if we determine our negative outlook on how we view and react to managers, we will not see if there are some really good people and they can be trusted. Definitely a good one based on trust with the manager in the workplace. Attitude surveys: attitude concept is social psychology. Attitude is a psychological tendency, expressed by evaluating a particular entity with some degree of favor or enthusiasm, provides an understanding of how employees perceive organizations and work groups. Pre-existing reviews indicate that knowledge of employee related to employee behavior. Employee attitude survey: organization needs the most popular way, often organizational training and development through the use of attitude survey. These surveys often consist of a series of multiple choice items grouped along one or more dimensions of the organization. These types of surveys provide an understanding of how the employee perceives the organization. Employees' attitude survey measures the opinion of including total satisfaction. Management-employee relationship, corporate culture, career development, knowledge reimbursement, benefits, recognition and rewards, working conditions, training, levels of workers, safety concerns, policies and procedures. Organizations' interest in retaining the right talents, targeting new talents. Measuring employee attitude indicates how successful an organization is in fostering a conducive environment that nurtures an employee's great attitude toward their job and company. Internal organization survey getting employee feedback on current programs, policies, and procedures. Attitudes and beliefs. Attitude is a relatively permanent association tendency of beliefs, feelings, and behavior towards socially important objects, groups, events, or symbols. A learned predicate is to respond in a consistently favorable or unfavorable manner with respect to a given object. It is an expression of evaluation towards a person, place, thing, or event. It will always have a positive and negative element and a tendency to behave in a certain way. Attitudes are mainly based on underlying values and beliefs. While attitude is the tendency to act in a particular way towards an object or situation, an expression of a person's decision about the facts of a particular person. Situations are evaluated. Beliefs are acquired through real experiences, but most of the original experience related to a particular belief is forgotten. It affects the quality of our work and relationships as we experience. Beliefs are an important part of our identity. They can be religious, cultural, or moral. Beliefs reveal who we are and how we live our lives. It is composed of many factors for the structure of family, society, and life. It is the belief that nothing is true and good without doubt. It is an inner feeling that something is true, whether that belief is unproven or irrational. I believe that walking down the ladder brings bad luck. Attitudes versus behavior. Attitude refers to predictions of feelings, beliefs, thoughts, and behavior directed toward people, groups, or objects. It affects the behavior of individuals. It tells us how to act or behave in a particular situation. Behavior is a kind of habit. This is the normal way of doing things. Everything will get better in an organization if everyone's attitude gets better. Success and failure in life depends on the attitude of individuals. If attitudes are positive, human attitude will be positive. It is internal and it is very difficult to change. Behavior is the way a person responds to his or her viewpoint. This response is either positive or negative, depending on how his situation is. See an example if, an employee who disagrees. An employee who dislikes any other colleague or has very little respect for the colleague, he can demonstrate attitude by talking harshly to this person. Can be influenced by many factors beyond behavior, including prior perceptions about oneself and others, monetary factors, social influences, and convenience. It is the action or response of an individual or animal in response to external or internal stimuli. It indicates the manner in which certain functions are performed or operated. Thank you friends for watching. For more management study and latest world news, visit our website usaeservice.com. Please like, subscribe and share our YouTube channel,